What is going on? This video did so poorly last time I decided to go ahead and do it again. That's right, that is this last week's polls tonight. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Mikey, and this is Comics by the Cover. This is Comics by the Cover. This is Comics by the Cover. There we go. Sometimes things don't work the way you want it to the first time, so you got to try again, and that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. So every week, I like to do little polls on my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram right this way, right here. So every week I like to do polls for people and I like to ask random questions based on things I read throughout the week and comments and so forth. So that's where these polls come from, just in case you were curious. So this week we did several polls ranging from questions such as, your thoughts on variant issues, are you behind on your reading, how are we going to introduce X-Men, or how are we going to introduce mutants into the MCU, as well as some thoughts around the Snyder Cut for Justice League America. So kicking off this list, we are going to start with our first poll, which is, the date is set, so picture it, March 18th, 2021, Justice League Snyder Cut's coming to the small screen. Are you excited, or is it all overhyped? As you can see, based on this poll, 42% of the people polled said that they feel that they are excited, while 58% stated they feel it's overhyped. However, I will say, polling these people, a lot of people did message me who selected the overhyped category, stated that they do feel it's overhyped, but they are also excited about it coming to the screen, and they will be watching it. So even though they feel it's overhyped, there is no indication that people will not be watching this film. So coming in at our second poll is the question, be honest, are you behind on your reading? I pulled this question because I'm in that yes category. As you can see, if you are in that yes category and you are behind on your reading, don't worry, you are not alone. As you can see, most people are actually a bit behind on their reading element. There's a lot of content coming out right now. We have the King in Black storylines. We have the future state stuff. There's a lot of amazing things happening in some of the independent titles. There's a lot of television content coming to the screen, so there's all the reason to be a bit behind on your reading. So you're not alone. We all have our ways. I will say, if you ever watch Swagglehoss, he made a great video about 5 ways he likes to stay up on his reading. I thought it was a really great list. A lot of those things I kind of do. I do have a reading box that you don't see right here, where it has 2 levels. One is, and I do take his advice, I don't bag the books that I plan on reading. I keep bags and boards there, but then I do take the books I plan on reading, and they move from the top shelf to the bottom shelf as I read them. And they are separated into 2 categories. They have the titles I read regularly, and then the titles I read less regularly, or title for, like, say if I buy a one-off book and then I'll read it. I will say my biggest challenge for this is I have a tendency to read issues of books I've already read before. It's kind of like watching television for me. I feel comfortable with a certain story or character, and then I just like to go back and read those old stories again, especially like some of the older X-Men stuff from the 90s. I love reading those, and I can read them over and over. Same thing with the Iron Man stuff from the 80s and 90s. I just love it so much. It just puts me behind on my current reading, though. But anyways, coming in for our next poll question, we have, with everything that was going on with the voting for the new X-Men nominees, so the X-Men, Marvel's brought the X-Men vote, were coming around. I don't even remember what the hashtag was, but there were a lot of concerns around some of the minor characters that were on the list. So it had me asking or thinking to myself, how would you react if the MCU goldballs us with an obscure mutant as our first taste of mutants in the MCU, and how would that make you feel? If you're not familiar with goldballing, Goldball is a character from the X-Men who went from pretty much obscurity to being prominent in the hierarchy of the X-Men characters, becoming part of the Five and so forth. So he's a very pivotal or important character now in the Marvel and their X-Men universe. So as you can see, 54% of people said, you know what, they would be totally cool with that. They think that would be a good idea, while 46% people would be like, what the F, mate? And I don't blame them. I just think it would be fun. So that made me look up a bunch of obscure mutants, of course. All of these ones right here. And so we have Rhapsody and Postman and Lacuna and Forget Me Not, Holly Marie, Amber, and a few others. And I looked up their power sets, and I was like, can't we write little stories on these characters? If you're interested in wanting to read those stories, I'll post them at the end of the video on a little title card, so you can kind of read the synopsises that I came up with based on taking their powers, retconning them a little bit, and making it work in the MCU. A little bit of creativity part. Someone did suggest a character to me as well, and I had added that one on the list, and you'll see that one. Tying back into Marvel with the whole fan treatment piece, the next thing that made me think about was we know we're getting Fantastic Four, super excited. We know we're going to be eventually getting Wolverine in the X-Men into the MCU. So it made me think, which iconic scene would you rather see play back out, cover scene that you would like to see played out in the MCU on screen, and will make the fanboy and you go, ah, or fangirl, or fan person? I don't know. When you look at this, you can see that clearly 181 clearly took the lead there. 67% of people said that they would rather see the recreation of the Incredible Hulk fighting Wolverine, and I will admit I will go hysterical seeing that on screen. It would make me so happy. And you can see 33% of people polled said that the Fantastic Four would be their pick. I will say some people messaged me saying that they feel like we already kind of got the Galactus scene in the Fantastic Four movie, and I was like, I don't think so. If anything, he kind of had a Black Winter feel about him, if you think about it, right? Anyways, so that was the poll on that question, and that's how that kind of played out. Next up on the polls, I have, do you feel compelled to buy variants of key issues? I thought this was kind of interesting. I thought it would kind of pull higher, and it makes me curious about the people who voted no, what their thoughts are on it. Is it a concern regarding budgetary needs? It doesn't make sense to the budget to buy the extra variant issues. Is it that you just don't like the extra copies, you don't want to buy in the hype? So if you are in that no category, let me know. I unfortunately fall in the yes category, and I buy a lot of variants when it comes to key issues. I do avoid them on some of the non-key issues, unless they're really cool covers, and I feel compelled to buy those. So with that said, that is the finale of our list. Again, if you want to stick around and read some of the stories I created, retcon stories I created for some of these obscure mutants, I will post that coming up right next in some title cards. Otherwise, have a great evening. Thank you for coming along. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts. I am always open to talk and have conversations. As always, bye.